My name is Shane, and I'm 45 years old. My wife's name is Carrie, and she is 44. We have been married for 23 years. We have a daughter who is in her last semester of college. Her name is Casey, and she has always been such a blessing in our lives. She will pursue a degree in education and plans to become a math teacher. I grew up on a ranch in a small town in Texas. I worked a lot on our ranch, but still found time for sports, participation in rodeos, and, of course, socializing with the opposite sex. After school, I went to college to study agronomy. I decided I wanted to be a high school agronomy teacher. My parents didn't have a lot of money, so I worked part-time jobs to supplement what they couldn't provide. During my last semester of college, my parents decided they were tired of working, so they sold the ranch and moved to a modest house in the city. They received quite a lot of money for the ranch, so it became their retirement income. On the way home from my graduation, they both died in a car accident. It was a car rollover due to a tire explosion. I was an only child, so I inherited money from the sale of their small ranch. It was about $400,000. I was quite surprised when I found out how much it was. They never told me. The next couple of months were very difficult for me. I missed my parents dearly, and losing them both at the same time was very difficult. I worked through my sadness and moved on with my life. In August, I received a job offer as an agricultural science teacher at a high school near Austin. I jumped at the offer because I really wanted to teach, and it looked like a great opportunity. I also decided to invest my inheritance and buy a small 25-acre ranch outside of town. I built a beautiful modern timber home, stable, and training arena for the horses I was going to buy. I also invested in livestock. Now, I won't say that I was looking for a wife, but it would be nice to fall in love and share what I have. I also wanted children. About a month into school, I met Carrie. My mentor thought we would be a good match, so she arranged a date. I was skeptical at first, but decided it was worth a try. It's been a while since I last went on a date, with everything going on. When she opened the door, I gasped. She was incredibly beautiful. I immediately realized that I would like this girl. We went for dinner and then drinks at the bar. We talked, laughed, and drank. I felt incredibly comfortable with Carrie. We returned to her apartment and sat on the balcony, talking. I asked her why someone as incredible and beautiful as her is single. She said, "Shane, I was going to ask you the same question. You are very handsome, funny, witty, and those incredibly blue eyes and blonde hair make you so sexy." I blushed and said, "Honestly, Carrie, I've never met anyone I really wanted to take seriously. Most of the girls I dated were too weird or too awkward to mess with. You're not like that. There's something about you that really makes me feel different." "Well, thanks, Shane. I have the same story. Most of the guys I've dated are idiots or perverts. I've never met a guy I wanted to talk seriously about, at least until tonight." I turned and looked at her. She looked at me, and we kissed. It wasn't a sloppy French kiss with the tongue cutting into it, but a nice, soft, sweet kiss. We kissed for several minutes, then I said, "Listen, Carrie, I want to see you again. We don't need to rush into anything, but I'd like to see where it goes. I want to really get to know you before we, Shane, you are the sweetest man I have ever met. You are such a gentleman. Most guys would be trying to get into my panties by now." I laughed and said, "I'd be lying if I said that thought didn't cross my mind. You are very beautiful and so sexy. However, I respect you very much, even though we just met. I want to develop a relationship, not just a one-night stand." She leaned over and kissed me again. Then she said, "Me too, Shane. You are one of a kind, and I can't wait to get to know you better." Carrie came from a poor family. They couldn't afford to send her to college, so she decided to go to a vocational school to train as an administrative secretary. She has spent the last several years working for a successful small business in Austin. Over the next few months, we became very close and fell in love. About 4 weeks after our first date, we made love for the first time. It was actually passionate sex in the front seat of my truck. We were just at a movie that had several sex scenes. I'm glad we made it to the truck at all. We went to my house and spent the rest of the night making love. It was such a passionate night. That night, we both fell deeply in love with each other. Over the next few months, we grew closer and closer. We almost never parted. She moved in with me in March. We got married on the 1st of June. A little over a year later, we welcomed Casey. The next 23 years were wonderful. We were a happy family, and I thought we had a pretty good life. We weren't rich or anything, but we were comfortable. Carrie and I really had a great sex life. She never lost her passion, and neither did I. Now, I'll admit, we had slowed down over the last 5 or 6 months, but it seemed like the passion was still there, or was it not? About 6 months ago, Carrie took a new job as an executive secretary for the CEO and owner of BRB Enterprises. Her new boss was Benjamin Brockman, owner of a manufacturing company that made high-tech electronics for the U.S. government. He was a very rich man, so his company was probably quite successful. He was the sole owner of the company. Carrie really enjoyed her new job and constantly talked about her boss, Ben. I started to get a little jealous until I met him. He was 58 years old, balding and overweight. Compared to him, I looked like a Greek god. When I asked her about it, she laughed, saying, "No one will ever compare to you, darling." I decided that I had no reason to worry, so I didn't think about it anymore until she started going on business trips with him. They left for 2 or 3 days at a time. Again, I asked her about the trips, and she just laughed. "Shane, it's just part of my job. I have my own hotel room, and we are busy with business." I was still a little worried, but she didn't give me any reason to doubt her, so I didn't mention it again. And then that fateful Friday came. I came home from school and immediately went to the barn. I had been there for about an hour when Carrie pulled up. She got out of the car and headed towards the house. I shouted, "Hey, honey, I'm almost done here. I'll be there in a minute and cook us some steaks for dinner. I missed you so much." Carrie has been away on another business trip with her boss for the past 3 days. She looked in my direction, but only nodded, and then entered the house. I walked into the kitchen, grabbed a beer from the refrigerator, and then asked, "Honey, would you like a beer or a glass of wine?" "A glass of wine would be good," she said, still looking at the floor. She didn't look at me yet. I brought her a glass of wine and placed the bottle next to her. She finally looked at me. I realized that something was on her mind or something was really bothering her. I kissed and hugged her and then said, "Honey, what happened? You look like something is bothering you. Did something happen during the trip?" Carrie grabbed her glass of wine and drank it in one gulp. Then she poured herself more wine. She took another sip, but didn't drink the whole glass. "Oh, honey, keep it down. Tell me what's bothering you. It can't be that bad." "Shane, I have something serious to tell you, so let me get it all out before I say anything, otherwise I'll get lost." "Okay, honey, tell me what's going on." She drank the rest of the wine and then said words I never expected to hear. Here's what she said. "Shane, I want you to know that I love you with all my heart. What I'm about to say has nothing to do with you being a bad husband, lover, friend, our father. You are the most wonderful person I have ever known. It didn't go so well. I didn't say anything, but I knew what came next would probably change my life. Shane, I'm going to file for divorce. I'm moving out right away. Your fears about Ben and I have come true. We've been dating for the last 5 months. He's crazy about me and we'll get married as soon as our divorce is finalized. We'll split everything equally. But the house, the ranch, and everything here will remain yours. I will only take my clothes and personal belongings." She paused for a minute so I could digest what she said. "Continue," I said rather calmly. I must admit, I was seething inside. I was also painfully wounded. "I will file for divorce due to irreconcilable differences. We should do this as quickly, easily, and painlessly as possible." She stopped there, giving me the opportunity to speak. I actually had something to say. "Carrie, are you in love with Ben?" "I'm attached to him, and I'm really interested in him. I'm sure I'll fall in love with him over time." "Carrie, does Ben satisfy you sexually better than me? I mean, is he a better lover? Were you unhappy with my ability to please you?" "No, Shane, he doesn't even come close. You're a great lover. I've always been pleased with you." Then I said, "Did I somehow treat you badly? Were you unhappy with me? I'm trying to understand why you do this. Why ruin a marriage and a family? I'm really confused, Carrie." "Shane, when I'm nice to Ben, he buys me really nice things. He loves me very much and loves to show his appreciation. He said if I married him, my life would be so easy. I wouldn't have to work and I will have everything I want. I will drive a luxury car, travel the world, wear the best clothes, and always dine in fancy restaurants. So it's about the money. You want to trade for a man who has more money? Well, let me tell you, Carrie, there's a word for what you do. Shane, I'm not a slut, she said, starting to cry. I'm really sorry to hurt you like this, but this is what I need to do. I can't pass up the chance to become a rich man's wife. Carrie, you're hurting me. Do you understand how that makes me feel? I worked my butt off for 23 years to give you everything I could, and I'm not just talking about material things. I gave you my love, my affection, my friendship, my soul and heart, everything that I have. I'm sorry that I didn't earn enough money to make you truly happy. I'm sorry for this disappointment in your life. I need to be alone, so I'll go to the barn while you pack your things. I could see that she felt terrible about everything that was happening. She probably didn't realize how much pain she was causing. All she thought about was her newfound wealth. I went to the barn and sat down on a bale of hay. Suddenly, I just collapsed. I just sat there and cried. I'll tell you that I never cry. My father always told me that real men don't cry. I didn't even cry at my parents' funeral. I felt disgusted. What could I have done differently? Was it my fault? I actually cried this time, but that was the last time I cried for Carrie. Carrie came into the barn, looked at me and said, "Oh my God, what have I done? Shane, don't you ever cry? Did I hurt you that bad? Oh, Shane, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you." Well, Carrie, let's see. You come home and out of nowhere you tell me that you're ruining our marriage, breaking up our family, moving out, filing for divorce, and you've had another man for the last 5 months. Oh, and it's all because I didn't make enough money. To top it all off, you tell me that you still love me, but apparently love doesn't mean anything to you now. Shane, I have to go. Ben and I are leaving for Paris early in the morning. We'll be there for a few days. As soon as I get back, I'll start the divorce process so we can finalize it as soon as possible. Yes, I see you're in a hurry to throw away our 23 years together. Have you thought about what Casey will think? I'm going to call her tonight. She'll understand. Ben promised to buy her a new Mercedes and pay off her student loans. He said he'll pay off the ones you took out, too. Thanks, Carrie. I can pay off the loans I took out. I also have a feeling that Casey won't be bought the same way you were. She looked at me in surprise, but didn't say anything. You better go, Carrie. But I want you to know, when you walk out that door, that's it. I'll never take you back. This all sounds like a big failure, so don't come crying to me. Oh, and definitely, be a good girl for your rich lover tonight. Maybe he'll take you shopping in Paris. I could see that she was really thinking about what I just said. For a moment, I thought she might change her mind. But then she said, "Goodbye, Shane. I love you and I'll miss you." She turned and walked out the door. I said quietly, "I love you too, Carrie." I sat down and cried again. Finally, I pulled myself together and said, "Okay, Shane, it's time to move on." I turned and looked at my 2 horses and said, "Well, ladies, it seems you are the only women left here that I can trust to remain faithful." I walked over and stroked their mane. They both nodded their heads and then pushed me lightly. I went up to my empty house and got myself another beer. Probably a little over an hour later, Casey called. "Dad, are you okay? I just talked to Mom. Is she crazy? What the hell is she up to?" "She has found herself a rich lover and thinks his wealth will be the key to her happiness," I said. "I guess I just couldn't give her everything she wanted in life." "This is funny, Dad. She thinks this old fool and his money will make her life complete? She tried to convince me that he would be a great stepfather. She told me he would buy me a new car and pay off all my college loans. I told her she could take that car and shove it up his ass." I had to laugh. Thank God my little girl saw what it was. I told her not to worry, that I would survive. We talked for a while and she made me feel better. She made me promise to call when I needed to talk. She told me that she fully supported me and would never have anything to do with her lover. After drinking some beer, I fell asleep on the sofa. The next morning, I got a call from my old college roommate. "Hello, neighbor," Jerry said. "We have supported each other for many years. Jerry works for the FBI in the fraud division. He was the best man at our wedding and probably my best friend in the world. It's been a couple of months since we spoke. "Hi, Jerry. How are you?" I asked. "Not bad. What about you, Shane?" "Not very good, Jerry. Carrie left me yesterday and wants a divorce." "That's why I call Shane. I'm in town and I need to see you right now. I can be there pretty quickly if everything is okay." "What's the matter with Jerry? How could you know that Carrie left me yesterday?" "Well, I didn't actually know that, but I have something to share with you that I think you'll find very interesting." "Okay, see you soon." What could Jerry know about all this? All this was becoming somehow strange. Now, revenge had not yet occurred to me, but for some reason I had a feeling that it was about to come. Jerry arrived about 30 minutes later. I gave him a cup of coffee, and we sat on my back deck. It was quite a pleasant morning. Jerry noted how peaceful and beautiful everything was. He then said how sorry he was that my marriage ended the way it did. I explained everything to him, but he didn't seem surprised. "Jerry, I think you already knew about Carrie and Ben." "Shane, what I'm about to tell you is between you and me. I shouldn't tell you this, but as your friend, I feel like I owe you one. As far as anyone is concerned, we never had this conversation, and you can't tell anyone. Of course, Jerry, it sounds like it's more serious than just a wife leaving her husband. This is true. This is also official business on my part. I'm involved in an operation involving Benjamin Brockman. We think he was involved in fraud related to his government contracts. We have reason to believe that he deceived the U.S. government. If so, then a major loss awaits him. We've been secretly gathering evidence against him for months. Just a couple more months or so, and I think we'll have all the evidence we need to pin his ass to the wall." "Wow, Jerry, this is cool. I hate this asshole. I would give anything to see it destroyed. This will serve Carrie, too. How could she be so stupid?" "She was stupid to leave you for that idiot. And since Carrie is his executive secretary, she's a person of interest in this investigation." "Damn it, Jerry. Is Carrie involved in this scam?" "We don't think so. We haven't found any evidence that she knew about his crimes. However, when all this comes out, she will be embroiled in it." "She's in for a rude awakening," I said. "She thought that she would become the wife of a very rich man and live happily for the rest of her days. During our surveillance, we discovered Carrie's affair with Ben. I waited until I had all the evidence, and then I was going to tell you, Shane. I think her desire for wealth led her to what she did to you." Jerry pulled out a large envelope from his briefcase, tossed it to me, and said, "Here's enough evidence of their affair if you want to use it in your divorce. If anyone asks, you didn't get it from me." I opened the envelope. There were 10 photos, emails, and some videos. They were very explicit and clearly showed them having sex together. Dates and times were also indicated. It was hard to watch and it made me want to cry again. I kept my composure and thanked Jerry for what he did. What's funny, though, is that in all the close-ups of her face during sex, she didn't seem to be enjoying herself at all. I saw a lot of pretense on her part. I know how she behaves when she feels good, and I have never seen her behave this way when I made love to her. Jerry said he needed to get back to work. He said he'll be in town for a few more days, but he's expecting an X-day with Brockman in the near future. "Jerry, why don't we go out to dinner tomorrow night? I'll give you a treat for your help in this mess." "Sounds great, Shane. My sister Ashley is coming over tomorrow. Mind if she joins?" "Little Ashley? Sure, that'll be great. I haven't seen her since she was 13 and had braces. She's 36 years old now, Shane, and very beautiful, by the way. The irony is that her divorce has just been finalized. I think she came home a day early from a business trip and found her husband in bed with his secretary. Looks like we have a lot in common. Maybe we can swap stories." "She's a partner in a corporate law firm," Jerry said. "She's coming here to open a new office for their firm. I think she's moving here to manage the office. She might be able to help you find a good divorce lawyer." "I'll definitely ask her about that. See you tomorrow." The next evening, I met up with Jerry and Ashley at a local Mexican restaurant. Jerry wasn't kidding about his sister. She was absolutely adorable. She hugged me and kissed me on the cheek. "Wow, Ashley. What happened to that little 13-year-old girl with braces and pigtails?" She laughed and said, "I grew up and became a woman. You always teased me about my braces. What do you think now? I think you've grown into one of the most beautiful women I've ever met. During dinner, Ashley and I discussed my situation. Jerry told her everything, and we agreed that because of the investigation, it would remain a top secret between us. Jerry said I could use photos and videos. I could just say I used a private investigator. I told them how Carrie planned to file for divorce as soon as she returned from Paris. She wanted to use the reason irreconcilable differences. Bullshit, Ashley said. You need to take a preemptive strike. I know a great family lawyer who can help you. She's one of the best and specializes in divorces due to infidelity. She brought my ex-husband to clean the water. I have her business card in the hotel room. We can pick her up later. We can start on Monday, so when Carrie gets back from Paris, you can meet her with the divorce papers. Everything happened quickly, but I knew one thing for sure. Ashley made an impression on me, and I wondered if she would want to date me. Towards the end of dinner, Jerry's phone rang. He walked away from the table and then came back and said he needed to leave. He offered to pay, but I reminded him that it was my dinner. Ashley and I finished our margaritas and were getting ready to leave. She told me that the evening was just beginning and asked if I knew a place where we could dance. Of course, I said. It is not far from here. We spent the next 2 hours dancing, drinking, and having a great time. To say that we got along is an understatement. We seemed so compatible. I felt so relaxed and content in her arms. We went back to the restaurant to pick up her car. She asked me to follow her to her hotel so she could give me the lawyer card she recommended. I followed her to her room, where she took a card out of her bag and gave it to me. Her cell phone is on the card. Call her tomorrow and see if she can meet you on Monday. I'll also call and let her know. She's a good friend of mine, so I'm sure she'll help you. Thank you, Ashley. How can I ever thank you? How about this? She said. She hugged me and kissed me passionately. I kissed back. We fell on the bed and started kissing like there was no tomorrow. This went on for several minutes until we were both gasping for breath. Wow, Ashley, I wanted to kiss you from the moment I saw you. And you, Shane. You are incredibly attractive and so sexy. We kissed a little more, but mostly cuddled on the bed. It was truly comforting to be around her. We woke up the next morning, still in each other's arms. I invited her to my house for lunch and offered to go horseback riding. We had a great day, and Ashley really enjoyed horse riding. Later that day, we ended up on my couch where passions flared up again, but it was still just intense seduction. We decided to continue seeing each other and see where it leads. I took Monday off and met with Julia, the lawyer Ashley recommended. I told her my story and showed her all the evidence I had. Julia seemed rather outraged by my wife's behavior and attitude. She's been practicing for 30 years, so she's probably seen it all. She said that we would file for divorce on the grounds of infidelity and abandonment. We'll ask for the house, the ranch, and everything that comes with it. We had $10,000 in our savings account, which we would split equally. All the money in our current account will remain with me. She was already paying for her own car and credit card, so they would be hers to keep. Julia recommended canceling her car and health insurance as soon as possible. Any credit cards issued to both of us will be canceled. This mainly concerned petrol cards for which there was no debt. Julia covered my interests on almost all points. She said that we would use explicit sex photos and videos only if necessary. Julia wanted to know when Carrie would return from Paris. I said that the plan was for this to happen on Thursday morning. I gave Julia the address that Carrie had left for me in case I needed to forward any mail. Julia said she would be served on Thursday morning. She won't like the cheating part, but I think she'll agree with the rest. She seems happy with her new financial situation and wants to get a divorce as quickly as possible so she can marry Mr. Brockman, Julia said. I will let her know that I will change the part about cheating and leaving if she signs the papers as they are, I said. Good idea, said Julia. We just want her to know that she cheated on you. Ashley invited me to dinner with a few of her clients on Wednesday night. I didn't want to intrude, but she said I would be there to keep an eye on her. The two guys she was dating were a little annoyed that I was there, especially since Ashley couldn't keep her eyes and hands off me. After the meeting, Ashley and I returned to her hotel. After about 30 minutes on the bed, we were both breathing so hard we could barely stand it. We decided to set boundaries on what we would do and when. I began, "Ashley, I want to make love to you so much that I can barely think straight, but I don't want to rush you. Shane, I'm on edge because of you that I can't handle it, but I don't want to rush you either." We both thought for a minute, then she said, "Shane, do you think it would be cheating if you had sex with me?" At first I thought so, but now I'm not sure anymore. She cheated on me and left. What should I do? Become a monk while she has sex with the money bag at will? Then I said, "She'll probably be served with the divorce papers on Thursday, and who knows, she might even sign them by Friday. I figure once she's served with the papers, I'm free to do whatever I want." So what are you suggesting, Shane? I want you to come to my house for dinner on Saturday night. I'm a good cook. It will be a nice, quiet, romantic evening where there will be no restrictions. However, no one should do anything they don't want to, I said. That sounds great to me, Shane, but what about tonight? We both have a lot of sexual tension that needs to be relieved, but the serious stuff will have to be left for Saturday, I said. Ashley kissed me passionately and then said, "Take off your shirt." Her eyes lit up. Years of working on ranches and lifting heavy bales of hay kept my upper body toned. She ran her hands over my muscles and along my back. Then I said, "Now it's your turn to take off your blouse and bra." She did it, and it was my turn to be delighted. As I expected, she had really nice breasts. I couldn't resist touching them. For the next hour, we kissed, caressed, and touched every inch of each other's body. It was beyond incredible. I couldn't wait for Saturday night. At about 10:30 a.m. on Thursday morning, my cell phone rang. I didn't have class, so I answered. It was Carrie, and she seemed quite upset. "Shane, what are these divorce papers they just served me? I thought we agreed that I would file for divorce." "No, Carrie, we didn't agree on anything. I'm just trying to give you what you want as quickly as possible." "What is this betrayal and abandonment, Shane? I thought we agreed on irreconcilable differences." "Again, Carrie, I didn't negotiate anything with you. Based on what you said, I think you can accept this settlement. You'll soon be the wife of a rich man. I'll change the part about cheating and abandonment to irreconcilable differences if you sign the papers as they are. Send me the corrected copy and I'll let Ben's lawyer look at it. If he says it's okay, then I'll sign." I called Julia and told her about my conversation with Carrie. Everything happened as she predicted. She has already prepared new documents to send. "I know Ben's lawyer," she said. "He's a corporate lawyer and has no experience in divorce. He'll probably brush it off and tell her to sign it." Indeed, Julia was right again. Carrie signed the papers, and they returned to Julia's office by Friday afternoon. I stopped and signed them on my way home from work. After 60 days, the divorce will become final. I called Ashley, and we agreed to meet for dinner near her new office. We had a nice dinner, and we probably talked for about 2 hours. She understood that I needed to talk about everything, and I really did. We decided that there would be nothing intimate that evening. We decided to save the passion for Saturday evening. Later that evening, Carrie called. "Hello, honey," she said. I immediately notified her that she no longer had the right to use terms of endearment with me. "I can handle it, Carrie. You really hurt that old cowboy, but it doesn't matter anymore. You got what you wanted, and unfortunately, I wasn't what you wanted anymore." "Shane, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I still love you very much, and I want you to know that I will miss you very much." "Yeah, okay, Carrie. I've notified you that I'm going to cancel your car and health insurance. I'll wait until next Friday so you can arrange for other coverage." "Thanks, Shane. Don't worry. Ben will take care of it all." "I wasn't worried, I just told you." "Well, I guess this is goodbye, Shane. I hope you don't think I'm a terrible person for doing this. I just had to do what I did. I love you, Shane." At this moment, it became difficult for me to speak. I knew Carrie felt it. My last words were, "Goodbye, Carrie. I hope you are happy with your new man. I love you." I hung up before she could say anything else. Now it was time to start my new life. and I had plans for Ashley to be a big part of it. Ashley came to see me on Saturday evening at 6 o'clock. She looked so beautiful and so sexy. Let me describe what I saw. She was approximately 5 feet 9 inches tall. She had long blonde hair, long, graceful legs, and the most perfect ass I had ever seen. She looked like a goddess if I've ever seen one. She had full, curved lips that I loved to kiss. She was wearing this cute little red outfit that showed off her figure. It was short and showed a little cleavage. We had a wonderful dinner on my back porch overlooking my ranch. We also drank a lot of wine. We ate, drank, flirted, and talked for about 2 hours. Finally, she looked at me and said, "Cowboy, if you don't take me to bed soon, I'm going to explode." I literally picked her up and carried her to my bedroom. It didn't take us long to take off our clothes and start enjoying each other. We had sex many times that night. We were able to have sex without protection because Ashley couldn't have children, and I had a vasectomy after Casey was born. The next week, Ashley helped me organize my lottery investment accounts. After taxes, I put $16 million into an income-generating investment account. This would ensure that I had $40,000 per month deposited into my checking account, allowing me to live off the interest. I put $5 million into a similar account for Casey. She would receive about $20,000 a month in interest. I also refused the Texas Lottery's ability to advertise my winnings. By the following Wednesday, I had about $1 million in my account. I also received a call from Carrie. She wanted to meet me. I agreed to meet for lunch. I asked Ashley to go, but she knew what the conversation would be about and decided not to go. She trusted me to handle this. I took the whole week off. I was going to quit as soon as they found a replacement for me. We were also busy with Ashley moving in with me. Carrie and I met in a decent restaurant in the city center. This was my proposal. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw her. She had put on weight and, frankly speaking, did not look very good. I'm sure the last few days have been traumatic for her. It was all over the news, and her name was mentioned several times. There was even a report that she was Brockman's mistress. I noticed some people staring and pointing at her when she entered. We decided to sit on the open terrace. We chose a table away from everyone else, so we could talk. We started with a little chatting, but it didn't take long before she started crying. "Shane, I made the biggest mistake of my life by leaving you. I'm not just saying this because Ben was arrested. I realized this a few weeks after I moved in with Ben. It was fun at first, but the money quickly became boring. I felt uneasy, and every time I had to have sex with him, I'm disgusted with myself. I didn't expect this. I thought money was all that mattered to her, considering how she left." Carrie continued, "I also started to feel a lot of guilt for what I did to you and Casey. Casey barely talks to me. You didn't deserve this, Shane. You were a good husband and you provided for us. I had everything I needed. Necessary. I just didn't realize it. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you saying that, but you did what you did because you weren't completely happy with me. I was happy with you, Shane. I let that old man win me over. I let him convince me to leave you for him and all his money. He's a nasty, twisted old man. I hope he rots in prison." I wanted to laugh, but I didn't. "What are you getting at, Carrie? What do you want from me?" She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "Please take me back, Shane. I love you and miss you so much. I miss our home, ranch, horses, and everything we did together. I would do anything to fix it." "Carrie, do you really miss me? Or is it because you don't have money, a house, or a job?" "I'm absolutely broke, Shane. I have nowhere to go, but I really miss you. I want everything to go back to the way it was. Carrie, I told you when you walked out that door that it was over. There would be no turning back, and your departure would be final. I know, Shane, but I need you so bad. I'm on the edge of an abyss. I have no one to turn to." "I'm sorry, Carrie. I met someone else and we are in love. The day will come and we will get married. We are in no hurry because we were both burned by our spouses." Carrie's tears flowed freely. She apparently didn't even consider the possibility that I might move on too. She just sat there, crying. I couldn't help but feel sorry for her. Yes, I was thinking about revenge when she left, but now I wanted to help her. Is there anything I can do to help you get back on your feet, Carrie? She looked at me and said, I probably dreamed of even thinking that you would take me back. I don't blame you, Shane. I wouldn't take me back either. If only you could find it in your heart to at least lend me some money until I find a job and a place to live. I'm living with a friend now, but I need my own apartment or something. How much do you need, Carrie? If you could lend me $5,000, I'll start paying it back as soon as I get a job. The waiter brought our food. Carrie started to eat, but I had no time to eat. I thought for a minute as I watched her eat. I took my checkbook out of my pocket, wrote out a check, and handed it to her, folded. I said, Carrie, this should help you get a fresh start. You're a good secretary, so you should be able to find a job. Let me know if you don't find one and I'll see what I can do. I'm sorry it turned out this way. I wanted to grow old with you, hold your hand as Casey said his marriage vows, watch our grandchildren take their first steps, or ride a horse, and be buried next to you on our ranch. I think that was it. Not destined to come true. I got up and left the restaurant. I left $100 on the table to cover the bill and tip. I glanced back as she opened the check. Her expression was one of complete disbelief. She looked at me, I looked back, and she whispered the words, "Thank you." I wrote her a check for $20,000. I smiled and left. She looked at me from the terrace as I got into my car. You should have seen her face when I opened the door to my new Porsche Cayenne S. Ashley moved in with me, and we got married the following spring. Jerry was our best man at our wedding, and Casey was our maid of honor. They became best friends. We had our wedding in Vegas at Caesar's Palace. We invited several friends and family to the wedding and reception. Our reception took place in our honey suite. All had a great time. I won over $200,000 on a progressive slot machine. It seems that I was destined to accumulate a lot of money through gambling. Carrie wasn't invited, but she read the ad in the local newspaper. Carrie found a job and a place to live. She never returned the money, and I didn't expect that. I heard she's dating her high school English teacher. I hope everything works out for her. Ben Brockman was convicted of federal crimes. Everything he owned was confiscated to recoup funds stolen from the government. He will spend a very long time in federal prison. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.